Witches.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of The Hero of Ages. We finish part 1 today.
Yeah.
So,
And like a lot happens, but not a lot happens, if that makes sense.
yeah, there's a lot of I think it's like across like a day or two maybe
Yeah.
kind of
And
thing, and then
bouncing between
it's
the
like
different groups of
yeah,
characters.
that's what really like I struggled because like we were with Tensoon, then we were with Sazed, and then Vin, and then we were back with Tensoon, and then we were back with Vin, and then all of a sudden we're somewhere else, and then we're with
Yeah.
Marsh, and I'm just like,
it was a lot, but like also not a lot. So
yeah.
like
We did
chapter
learn some good
7,
information though.
we did. We're learning a lot about the Khandra. Um and I'm super excited about it. I want to know more about the Khandra Society. But they refer to where they are as the homeland. And I'm really confused about where the homeland is, except that it sounds like it's like in the fucking sewer. It sounds like it's underground.
Like really far underground. Well,
Yeah.
when they say homeland, we obviously know that the Lord Ruler made them.
Right.
And we do find out at this time, like, where the Lord Ruler is originally from and all of these things. So I'm like, is the
Are they like
homeland?
way under Luthadel? Like,
Yeah, because this is not a spoiler, but we do find out that Rashik was originally from the location now known as like the Central Dominance, like Luthadel, all of that.
mm-hmm.
And he essentially moved Terrace and its people where it
North.
is now, and he
Yeah.
created those mountains so that it looks as if that's where everything should be, but it's right in Luthadel. It's right there, right under his nose, so he can watch it.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and the Koloss has been away hiding or whatever, handling like outskirt business under him, does that make the homeland to both of them in Luthadel, or at least in that area?
Yeah. Yeah. So they're underground somewhere. We don't know where really. But we also learn about like they have like fake skeletons that they've made out of like
Crystal.
rocks and crystals and which I think is super fucking weird, especially because that's not like a super strong like it sounded like he made
It's
it out of
flashy.
quartz.
Yeah.
And
It's
there was one
more
that was like
flashy
maybe
than anything.
ruby. Yeah, and but it's not super strong. But
It's brittle.
I really the main thing that I wrote about this chapter is they were talking at one point about how the Khandra are birthed, and if they're not birthed, then they are the same thing as the mist wraiths, because the mist wraiths just create their own skeleton out of bones from other things instead of like taking the form of something else. And I'm like, what is the difference between a mist wraith? I mean, obviously the difference is the way that they use the bodies, but is it like consciousness?
See, I was wondering that too, because in the last episode we discussed how it appeared that Tensoon was essentially a mist wraith in his blob form.
Yeah.
And that mist wraiths were like they're not necessarily their own culture, but like their own set of like Khandras, but they just grabbed whatever they could, created their own body as best as they can.
Yeah.
Like, and he described it as if it was artistic differences.
Yeah. But then in this chapter, he says something about Khandra being birthed, and I'm like, are they given? Is it a mist wraith that's been given whatever metal? Like what? What?
That's a good idea. Well, and is it something that has to come from like the maker themselves?
Right. Because we don't know. Like every generation has been made with the Lord Ruler, and now that the Lord Ruler is gone, they don't have a father, because that's what they called him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting.
I just think it would be really, really cool that somebody was so suppressed that is like, that's my dad. We don't fuck with him, even though he created us to suppress us. Like, I don't care. We're not
Right.
gonna fuck with him. And Tensoon's over here like, he dead. Why does it matter?
Right. It doesn't
I
matter.
don't
He's
care.
gone.
Let's revolution, guys.
Revolution. But yeah, and so he basically, this is them giving him bones so he can create a body so he can go to his trial. And that's the end of chapter 7. And then we get to chapter 8, and I started reading and I was like, what the fuck?
Listen.
I felt like I missed something. And like, I was like, what? 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 And then I was like, okay, maybe if I just keep reading, it'll make sense. And it did. But
I'm telling you what, though, there was like a moment where I was getting like Shrek and COVID vibes.
Yeah. Because she's like,
you can go ahead.
Just the very first sentence is like, on the first day out of Titan, Vin and Elend murdered 100 of the townsfolk. Or at least that was how Vin felt. And I was like, I'm sorry. What?
I know, I was really confused about that too.
What?
But basically, they're holding these townsfolk out in the mist. Because once you're in the mist and you get like...
You survive.
like, you're good. You're inoculated. And I was
not
like...
everyone survives. Some people have seizures and die.
Yeah.
Some people have seizures and survive.
I was getting COVID vibes because obviously about like everybody, but I was getting like Shrek vibes. And hear me out. Picture Elend on the top of his castle, and there's just multiple little people down below him in this grand arena, and then he goes, "Some of you may die."
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, like. I'm sitting here like, damn, we got a Lord Farquaad up in here.
Yeah,
and then we got some fucking COVID-19 up in here. I was getting triggered.
No, for real though, because like, Vin's like, we could have given them a choice. And he's like, no, there's no choice. They would have had to stay inside their homes and starve because the mists are going to get worse. But you still should have given them that choice. If they wanted to be stubborn and stay in their homes and die of starvation, that's still their choice. Like, yeah. I kind of agree with Vin. Like, you can't take away their free will entirely. Now you can give them the information and be like, if you don't do this, you're going to die of starvation. Whereas, like, it's either you might die or you for sure will die. Like, I don't know.
Well, and I think so. Like, I understand he is like, look, I'm going to take these people. They'll survive. I'm supposed to protect them. I'm not going to, like, let shit go to hell in a handbasket. Like, I'm going to take care of things. So I understand his process, his idea.
I do too. And I get that he's doing, like, a for the greater good thing. Yeah. With, like, needing the people to do the farming. But
now,
still.
On the other hand, though, forcing them to be out in the mists like that, I don't necessarily agree with. Now, that right there, I think, is where the choice should have come. Yeah. If, like, these people were farmers and they might, in fact, be out there with the mists and they might be doing all of these things, then they probably not necessarily need to or should or forced to or whatever, but, like, those are the ones you should consider to do this. If you don't have mists in the, like, little circle area that you drew out and you're, like, fine with that, those people should have a choice as to whether or not they're going to be out in the mist during those times, because these people might be fucking terrified of the mist just because of how the Ska legends went. So they might not even want to be out in the mist. And then there's others who are like, oh, life goes on.
Yeah, well, and just like, I don't know. we have free will for a reason. They should have been given the choice. And if they chose to stay behind and die, like of starvation, that's their choice and that's unfortunate, but it was
I
their
hope so.
choice. Like, yeah, like I don't know. And honestly, given the choice, probably most of them would have chosen to go out into the mists and take their chances. I feel like I
Yeah.
would have,
If I never had to
but
worry about dying again in the mist
right,
and
like
I succeeded, I'd probably go with it.
a long, slow death or a quick, painful death. Like, I don't
Like,
know.
can you like drug me up before I get out there just in case? Like, damn.
Right. Like, I
And
feel
I
like
wonder
he
too if
could
like
have given them a choice.
yeah, well, and I wonder too if the people who are actually being essentially chosen by the mist or like by ruin to die, I wonder if
Yeah.
those people have not necessarily self-doubt, but you know how sometimes things can grow bigger when like you are I I'm thinking I'm thinking of like a comic about depression. Like when you sit there and sit with it and sit with it, it
Mm-hmm.
grows and grows bigger. But then you don't grow because obviously you're becoming so overwhelmed with this depression. But then as you start growing, the depression gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you can handle it. Like something along those lines. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, um, that's how I guess I was kind of
Yeah.
thinking about it. Like, is this gonna really fuck me up, or can I
Yeah, I
just
don't
deal with
know.
it? Like, I don't know. There's just
Yeah.
a lot of things happening right now, and I feel like those people are maybe like weak, not strong-willed, maybe, and
Maybe.
that's how like ruin is killing them.
Could be. I have no idea. I honestly, for like the rest of this chapter, was just like, what the fuck is happening? There's like a whole conversation between Vin and a Colossus that she's controlling, and she's like
That was
asking
wild.
questions. Yeah.
Hold on, we're gonna talk about the Colossus conversation before we move on because that shit is crazy. First of all, he
Yeah.
thinks he's human,
Yeah.
and
He says that
then
he's human and makes her call him human.
yeah, that's his name because that's who he is. And
Yeah.
he is looking longingly into the camp because he wants to be with them. Okay, tearjerker moment. Like, you're making me feel for a Kolas. But not only that, the Kolas looks at Vin and goes, "You're one of us." And it's like, hold up, bitch. Who the fuck said I was one of you? How?
Right?
And that's the conversation. And he's like, okay, I go. And then he just leaves. And you're like, hold up. What do you mean you're one of me? Like, I'm one of you. What the
Right.
fuck? And that I don't understand because he's like, you're one of me, and it's like, okay, the Colossus were made by the Lord Ruler.
Right.
It's like the Lord Ruler, like a direct ancestor of Vin somehow, somewhere, some shape or form. I don't think so. I think she's like a different, like, okay, yeah, maybe she is the hero of ages, but like, I think, yo, what if she's not? What if it's Ellen?
I don't know.
Why
This whole
is my
thing is
dog
wild.
barking?
I don't know. Can't help
But
you with that.
the I'm okay. That I'm not gonna go off on a tangent on that whole thing. Um, but Human does say that like her like Human's conversation with Vin basically brings Vin back to understanding like the Mists don't protect me. They are actually scared of me. Like they
Right.
are a sentient being that hates me, basically, because that's what Human says. Human's like, you're just like me. The Mist hate me. And I don't know if he meant like you're just like me because of like the Mist or like if they're made from like the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Do not know. It was very interesting though. Yeah. And then they're
There's
back
just a lot.
they're back to camp and that's the end of chapter 8. Like It was interesting. And we find out, like, he's like, she asks him if they're like baby Colossus, and he's like, no. And then she's like, well, then how do new Colossus form? And he just says, from us. Because there are also no women Colossus. We learned that.
Yeah. And
so,
if there are women, then they all look the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're all wear like crude like loincloths or whatever.
Yeah. So they don't no titties.
I wonder too if they're like made from the mist, because Vin made a comment
Maybe.
at the end of the chapter that she only knew how to kill the Lord Ruler because she drew power from the mists.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mist was helping her when Elend got stabbed. But then it appeared as if another figure in the mist wanted to like kill Elend while he was like laying down in a room. So she's like, yeah,
The fuck is
they
happening?
are not a protector. I do draw power from them, and I'm like, but how?
Yeah, like what the fuck is happening?
Because we don't have it confirmed that Ruin is directly related to the Mist.
No, we don't. We don't know.
Maybe there are some powers within the Mist, and that's how he create like Ruin is able to like murder people.
Maybe,
and that's how she was able to. I don't know. Anyways,
chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9. We're back to Tensoon.
Yo, I thought he was going to be a martyr in this chapter.
Dude, I'm so fucking confused. So, first of all, how do they reproduce? Because they're talking about like the new generations and like how there's probably not going to be another one, and I'm really confused.
Mm-hmm.
And then Milan comes in the doors, and it's like he had hoped that Milan wouldn't be in that group, yet she was virtually the first in the doors. And I'm basically like, is this his child? Is this his lover? Who is this?
And I wonder too if Tensoon is like spending so much time in the human world, or like Luthadel, basically, that he has essentially started more human-esque things.
Right. Maybe.
And maybe he's like always fancied her.
He worried that she would rush across the chamber and step on the platform, where only the most blessed or cursed were allowed, but instead she halted right inside the doorway, forcing others to push around her in annoyance. And we find out that she's kind of rebellious, which is why I was like, is this a child? I don't understand. Who the fuck is this?
What generation did it say? Was it his?
It says the younger generations were pushing the boundaries of propriety, annoying the seconds. Once Tensoon would have probably agreed with them, and he was still something of a traditionalist, yet this day her rebellious body simply made him smile. And she found a seat near the front with a group of other 7th generationers. So she is 7th generation. And he is 3rd.
She's probably like 50 years old.
If they have aged the same way that we do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know he said that he's been around for like hundreds of years.
Yeah. And I think that the last thing I wrote for this chapter was just, I think that his is the story that I am most invested in right now. Because he's basically... Wait, do we know that yet? No, we don't. Right now, they're just all like filing into the chamber for his trial, but the trial hasn't actually started yet.
Yeah, chapter 11 is when you find out the trial.
Yeah. So that's all I had for chapter 9. Did you have anything else?
I did. Honestly, we all love a good rebellion, and you can just see it starting here in that realm. But I'm I know they don't have like the bead that they gave Elend, but there's like a moment in there where they're talking about whatever it was that created a Mistborn. I wonder if like they're actually able to go essentially to that well and like mine for that exact metal or like something
Maybe.
along those lines. I like reconsidered this because obviously it would be harder if you don't have, you know, that bead or that metal to actually like break apart and figure out which metal it is or what combination of it all is all about. But
Right.
I somewhat wonder if it's like a little bead of all of the metals, including like adium or poor man's adium or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Like if it's like the perfect ratio of metal to create that.
Maybe. I honestly have no idea.
Or maybe he was always Mistborn and that was just the trigger. The like
Maybe.
the pop. Because didn't Zane talk about like there comes a time when you like see your full potential or like the ability to do all of this?
I don't remember.
I feel like he had like some speech to Vin about like you remember it, don't you? Like when you first knew you were able to do all of these cool whatever things. And it was like some I don't want to say like a pop, but like a click into place.
Maybe. I don't
Like a
remember
snap.
that.
That's yeah, like a snap. Like when you get a
That does
mating
sound
bond.
familiar. When you say like the actual word snap does
Yeah, it like
ring a bell.
for some reason like I'm thinking a snap as if like the mating bond kind of like snaps into place.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I thought maybe he was like some repressed thing.
Maybe.
That's it
I
though.
don't know.
Chapter
Okay.
10.
Chapter 10. Sazed and breathe. Sazed is not doing okay. All right. He's not doing so hot.
He is a man that has lost all his faith, even though he didn't have faith.
Yes. First thing that I commented on was they're talking about how the ash is unimaginative for like an evil force of doom. And at first I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Rashit created the ash. And then I was like, oh right, they don't know that. I was like,
no.
I was really confused at first because I was like, what? We know what the ash is for, but then I realized that they don't know that. We do. They don't. But
I somewhat, you know how they say like who would create ash, like if you're gonna have all of this power, like shouldn't you just be able to like kill anything, like like that whole like
yeah.
idea. I love that Ruin is like one of the 4 horsemen.
All right.
Like famine, ruin, like pestilence, all of that kind of shit.
Ooh.
I love this idea because it's not like one of those I'm gonna conquer the whole fucking world by doing
Right.
this. This is like I don't give a shit about conquering the world. I just want to see everyone suffer, and I'm gonna do it slowly. I'm going to milk as much fun as I can out of this, and that's essentially what Ruin's doing. He creates famine. He creates disease. He lowers everything quality of life wise. Like
Yeah.
I love this slow process. Like it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It ain't a slow process. I'm planning how to fucking take over the world. It's a slow process because it has to be.
Right. Well, and that's like Sazed is lost all his hope, basically. And he
Yeah.
is like, Breeze is talking about, it will be nice when flowers return. And Sazed's like, return? Like, what the fuck? And Breeze is like, the Church of the Survivor teaches that Vin will someday cleanse the sky of ash and the air of mists. I figure while she's at it, she might as well bring back the plants and the flowers. And Sazed is like, I realize you're trying to encourage me, but I have a hard time believing that you accept the teachings of the Church of the Survivor. And basically, Breeze is trying to cheer Sazed up, and Sazed is not cheer upable right now.
Mm-mm.
So much so that he decides that this religion he's currently studying, which is like reveres the arts as divine, can't be true because the teachings of the religion are directly contradicted by observed events. So he's just basically, he's trying to prove to himself which religion is correct, but really he's trying to prove to himself that they're all incorrect.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
the thing,
super sad.
Like, you can sit there and find all you want in like an object to disprove it. But why are you doing that if there's not like some type of like motive behind it? And with Sazed, it's he's essentially lost the will to live.
Yeah.
And this is how he's like coping. Because he loved Tyndall so much that he wants to make sure that her soul, her whatever is like left over, is taken care of. I also really I'm not saying I enjoy his like despair.
Right.
But I am enjoying learning more a little bit about like the theology of once was.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like seeing his like fall out of faith kind of journey. Because we all have like a moment in time where you think one thing is like the true whatever, and then all of a sudden an event occurs and you just, that's the end. You can't think of anything else other than this was always incorrect, and then like your entire world gets flipped upside down. And like I went through that, and so I think maybe the reason why I enjoy reading Sazed so much is it's like, damn bro, I get it. Like nothing makes sense. You don't understand anything. You're disproving everything because that's the only way you can like feel like you're in control.
Right, that's the only way to cope. Like, wild. Mm-hmm. It's just wild.
Yeah. So, and he spends basically all his waking hours doing this. He gave up all of his rings, all of his medals. He doesn't have any jewelry on. All of this to disprove his years of study.
Yeah.
It's sad, but
it is. But I have a feeling that he's going to come around.
I think he's going to come around to have faith in like the religion that's based off the Kelsier, the survivor, whatever. Only because Kelsier never preached about like specifics.
Right. He never said like, I am God. Like he alluded to it, but
yeah, and just in a way to get the ska to help rebel. But like he always talks about like making sure you laugh and
believing
times
in
of
people.
Struggle.
Not
and it's concrete enough to be able to follow as a religion. It's not it's not contradictory. It's just believing in yourself and those around you.
Mm-hmm. And there's no like prediction for the afterlife.
Yeah, it is what it is kind of thing. Like, smile about it, basically. Learn. Hope.
Yeah.
That's it.
Correct.
Nothing else that I'm aware of.
So they're like on their way back to camp, right? And then they're like, riders have apparently seen us approaching. And I just have to read this out loud because it was funny. they're like, they've apparently seen us, Lord Ambassador. Riders are approaching. In fact, they are, and Sazed says, here. Nodding to the near distance where he saw a rider crest the hill. This one was very easy to pick out against the black. Not only was it moving quickly, actually galloping its poor horse along the road, but it was also pink. Thanks, bitch! So it's Elrian. And her and Breeze are actually together now. Like, they're not trying to pretend they're not fighting it. They're just together. And I am cracking up at this whole situation. Because Breeze is, like, a little uncomfortable because he's like, I'm a dirty old man, and this is a child. She's not a child. She's in her 20s. But, like, that's
He's
the
40.
vibe he's feeling.
When he was her age, she was born.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like, it reminds me of, what is that? Rent. With Mimi and Mark. Not Mark. Mimi and Roger.
Yeah.
Where they're like, he's like, I'm too old for you, blah, blah, blah. And he, like, leaves. This is the same, like, dynamic. Because he's like, I don't want to leave her a widow when I die, blah, 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 blah. But, like, this is war. We might not live past, we don't know if we're going to live past 2 weeks.
We might not live to see tomorrow.
Exactly. Exactly. So, anyway.
Hamilton. We may not live to see your glory.
It's the whole thing is hilarious with her.
And low-key, I love it. I think it's great.
I really do too.
I don't know. To me, it's just really weird.
Yeah.
Like, that whole dynamic thing.
Yeah.
But I also am not, like, a fan of age gap. I know that's, like, a thing. And I know that's a genre.
It's super funny that you're not a fan of it, though, because I feel like ACOTAR is the biggest fucking age gap in the fucking history of the world.
Yes. But we're talking about a fake king versus a human.
Fair.
These are humans. And one is dating her uncle. Like, hold up. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't be so weirded out about it if it was, like, a 30-year-old.
Right, but she's, like, 20.
A 40, 50, but, like, she just turned 18 probably, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah. And he is in his mid-40s.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I get icked out by it.
That's never fair.
And this might just be because of, like, a personal, like, trauma that I experienced as a child with, like, a family member and who's, like, a dirty old man. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I get really bad icky vibes. I just feel like that's your father.
Yeah.
And it very well could be, okay?
Like, I mean, yeah. It is a little bit creepy. Like, but, you know.
Also, Rhysand is, like, looks to be just her age.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's a difference with, like, the aging versus over here not aging.
Balding and graying, and he's got, like, an 18-year-old. Like, no, that's...
It's
I'll tell you what, that's like a 90-year-old on his deathbed looking for, like, a sugar mama. Or a sugar baby.
Yeah.
No. Gross. Absolutely not.
Then Vin comes into Sazed and is trying to again cheer him up, and it is not successful.
I do appreciate that she's trying. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Vin has never been the kind of person to be able to be in that situation. She's never been good, not necessarily with words, but just, like, with feelings. Like, she can read how people are, she can report on how people are, but, like, actively being Breeze kind of person to Sazed.
Yeah.
What happened in the last year? I want to know.
Right. Well, and I think...
other than, you know, getting married.
Yeah. Well, I think that part of it is, like, what she says, like, she had the power to save him, thought he was going to die, and still let that power go because that's what the world needed and what he wanted.
He wanted what was best for the world, and if this at that time was best for the world, then that's how he wanted to go. And I hope that knowledge, that tip, whatever advice you want to consider it, works for him.
Well, because she says, she's like, I knew it was what he wanted me to do. You gave me that, Sazed. You taught me to love him enough to let him die. And then she gives him the little picture of a flower that Mare gave to Kelsier and then Kelsier gave to her. And I was like, oh, like, it just keeps getting passed down, like, the grief, like,
it goes to those who need it the most. Like,
yeah. So yeah, that happens, and that's the end of chapter 10. Chapter 11, the blurb.
The blurby bourbon a lot.
Yeah, the blurb talks about the first contract with the Lord Ruler and the Khandra. It talks about what the Khandra laws were, and one of the things that they added into the code was a provision which, if invoked, would require the mass suicide of the entire Khandra people. The Khandra wrote this code. So they wrote
first generation.
Yeah. So they wrote this into their own code. That if this was enacted, they would have to commit mass suicide. And I'm just like, what? Like, that's not something I would write into my own code.
They're gonna drink the Kool-Aid. But let me tell you,
tell me you're in a cult without telling me you're in a cult.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like talking about like revolution. Not necessarily revolution. That's the vibe I was getting from it. But then when I read that blurb, I was like,
what oh my fuck? God.
Is that how he's gonna do it? Is he gonna save his people while also not saving his people? I was like, no, he likes Vin way too much to just fucking leave her like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna fight. And then if that has to be the last stop, then like maybe he'll do that.
Yeah. Well, and like, so this trial starts out, like, I feel every fucking trial ever starts out that we talk about, and they're basically like putting words into his mouth. So tell us why you did this. Tell us why you killed one of your own. And like, first of all,
and Tensoon was like, bitch, I'm ready. I did it by the contract. I did it because my person told me to do it. I did it because I was in a contract. Did I want to do it? Did I enjoy it? No. Did I have to because I was bound by a contract that you guys did? Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
He says that. He says, you were the one that assigned me to this contract. Like,
Oh, and then the mic drop he did later on in this speech, he was like, not only that, but you sent or sir to somebody willingly knowing they wanted the father to die.
Yeah.
So, like, you snowballed this. In front of everybody, including the first generation that's off in their, like, little hot box up top that, like, you can't see into. But, like, the fact that he's like, you want to come at me?
And he uses that to start his new argument, because he's like, the guy, Ken Parr, or whatever his name is like, it's not your place to make accusations. And Tensoon says, I have no place anymore, it seems. None of us do now that the father is dead. We have no right to complain, for we helped it happen. And they basically try to just shut him up. They're like, no, we're not going to talk about this. And he's like,
he lets it out.
No, we are going to talk about this.
No, this is important. This is an important part of my trial. I'm going to include it. This is evidence. Thank you.
Yeah.
Exhibit A. Well, and then he ends up, like, ending it all, too, like, in one last-ditch effort to, like, get the younger generations to move away, like, basically do their own rebellion. Whether or not he dies and lives to see the rebellion, he straight up is like, yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
you can do all of this without this. And let me tell you, just because the father is dead doesn't mean like we can't follow a new person. Hello, Vin's the mother. And then
Yeah.
everyone freaked
And
the fuck out.
he says too, she is one of us in a way.
See? How?
Yep.
What the fuck? How?
Yeah.
See, and
And
that right there, I was like, yep, yep. Revolution started.
yeah.
All you need is that little seed to start the whole thing.
And he says too, she is the mother. She inherited everything the Lord Ruler had. Without her, we have nothing. We cannot create new blessings or a new conjure on our own. The trust is hers now.
Oh, and trust was capitalized.
Yes.
So I'm like, trust.
What does
like,
that mean?
Like the formal trust between like friends.
Like the contract? Like what is that?
Or like the contract. What is it? Also, we never actually seen like this physical contract.
Right. We also never see the first generation.
No, they're like in their hiding. They're in their hidey hole up in the corner.
Yeah, and like he's like the first generation.
He calls on them.
Yeah. You demand judgment, let it come, and they all like look up, but they can't see them, and none of them say anything. And then
Tensoon's like, even if they're still around,
right? Like, are they even up there? That's what I said. Like, because Kempart like smiles and says, the first generation has ignored your plea. Therefore, as their servants, we of the second generation will offer judgment on their behalf. Your sentencing will occur in 1 month's time. And Tensoon is confused by that too. He's like, a month? Why a month? Why are we waiting? And I'm like, I don't think they exist. I think that they have died or they've moved on. Yes. I don't think that they exist.
I don't think they're there anymore. And I think the main reason why they keep up formalities and why like nobody talks to the first generation, only to the second generation, because I think Kanpar did his own little fucking upheaval of shit so that he could take care of everything.
I was thinking that
and I was like, them. Okay, so is he making everybody believe that like the first people are fucking sitting up there, but they don't talk to anybody because they just don't talk to anybody but the second? And now Kampar's like, ha ha ha, bitch, I've always won. I've had this since the get-go. Like, what if Kanpar murdered all of them, and like that way, like he could be the one to rule everything? And I think, okay, I know we just met Kanpar. I know like he's technically like not necessarily an important person. We don't really know that yet. I think he's going to be an important person. I think
but not good. Like, I think he's going to be a bad person.
Yeah, I think he's going to like side with Ruin maybe, or maybe Ruin has already gotten to him.
Right. Ooh.
Because Ruin can get a hold of the Inquisitors just like the Lord Ruler could, so why not?
Yeah.
And there was a part too where I don't know, there was something that was like said, or the way it was done made me like question a lot of things, because he's like trying to throw Kanpar under the bus during this trial, saying like, well, you're the ones who did this or did that. I wonder if Kanpar like made the people who are more rebellious go out on contracts in an attempt to stay away, to not mold the newer generations, or to possibly die like Orsur did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very invested in the Kandra storyline right now. Like those are my favorite chapters right now.
We had a teaser.
Yeah.
And now I would say I'm actually more invested in those chapters than the other ones, but I am the least invested in the whole Sazed story. Like,
it's just really hard right now because it's so negative, and I have a hard enough time not falling into despair spirals. So, like, it's hard to read.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, like, that's the reason why I feel like shit today, but, like, work's been kind of negative recently.
Yeah.
And then just sitting there, like, reading him boo-hoo about his like dead love. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not in the spot to really care.
Right. I can't be invested in that right now.
Like, okay, I got my own shit to worry about. Tyndall's dead. Like, that's it.
Well, and I think part of it is hard too because, well, yes, they had always kind of had a thing. They only really were like together for like 2 months.
Yeah, and that
And
was
now
it.
he's
Nothing
devastated.
else happened.
Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's superficial.
yeah, it just feels, I don't know, a little not genuine.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but
No,
whatever.
but
Anyways,
that is chapter 11.
I'm enjoying the ragtag team of rebellion miscreants that we have going here. Tensoon added to that now.
Yep.
He might not be with the crew, but he's doing something on the other end. And maybe he knows. Like, maybe he knows Ruin is going to can use them.
Oh, maybe. And so he's trying to get, like, on Vin's side before Ruin.
Maybe he's either trying to get on Vin's side, or remember that thing earlier where I said maybe Ruin picks those with, like, no hope or, like, no faith. Maybe if he can instill faith in, like, the earlier Khandra, they become less likely to, like, fall to Ruin.
Maybe. Could be.
Or he's just gonna say, nope, we're all gonna kill ourselves, bye, and then be done with it. We'll never have to worry about them again.
Maybe. I don't like that ending, but maybe.
I'm just trying to be real here. If I'm not real, that it's gonna happen, I'm gonna be more devastated than I originally planned.
That's fair.
So, alright, chapter 12.
Oh, chapter 12. So, chapter 12 starts out with Vin talking about how everyone's morale is low. And she's trying to talk through this with Elend, and he says, okay, I trust that you're right about the others. I'll do something to fix it. It's not something you can just fix. Like,
yeah, I didn't like how he worded this because it was like, you're just doing your duty as the emperor. You're not actually, like, it doesn't seem like you actually care.
Right.
However.
And, like, he's like, you're getting as bad as he is reading everybody's emotions and telling them how they're feeling. And she's like, they're my friends. I know them. I know how they're feeling because they're my friends, not because I've been reading around their emotions. For years.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like Elend has lost some of his humanity.
Yeah.
Like Elend, and we all know Elend. I was an Elend stan. Like, he was my favorite. And in this book, and the end of the last book,
I'm digging the control or like the like confidence. I'm digging the confidence. Because somebody said this to me like years ago, and he was like one of my good friends, and he made a comment. He was like, I just want to let you know, please don't take this the wrong way, but like when you're confident, that's when you're most attractive. And he goes, I understand you have like issues with like the way you look, the way you act, or whatever the case is that's happening in life. And he's like, but nobody notices that until you bring it up, until you lose that confidence, until you lose all of that within yourself. And he goes, when you're confident and you don't care, you are the most attractive. That is when you're the most sexy. And I'm sitting there like, cool. I will do that. I will think that. I might not act like that, but I will think that all I can.
I mean, I get that too. I like that he's confident, but I think he's kind of like, in gaining his confidence, he's lost his heart and his...
Because that's what it says down at the air, like the other way when he was like, they're my friends, Elend. I know then, and I'm telling you, they're giving up one by one. They're beginning to think we can't win this one. And like Ellen's getting dressed, he's getting ready for the day, and he carried on anyway, for he saw the best they had. Tyndall had taught him that Very well, he said. I trust that you're right about the others. I'll do something to fix it. And he said, after all, that was his job. The title of Emperor carried with it only a single duty, to make everything better.
Yeah, and
No
I just,
humanity, no nothing.
yeah.
It's just, it's like when you're burnt out and you just,
Yeah.
I need this paycheck. I'm just going to go through it. But you're going to do bare minimum, quiet
Yeah.
quitting.
Yes. That's what it feels like. Like he's not Elend anymore.
No, and I don't think he ever imagined to be in this situation. And I think he was thrust into it so quickly during a time where like he was still transitioning and trying to like make sense of everything that was happening, and then all of a sudden now he's like this strong and powerful like Mistborn.
Yeah.
I think all of that at once kind of cracked his exterior a bit, or interior, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it would. Going through all of this. That's what I say like about the next like 8 pages is just that they're all talking about all of the bad things, about all the hopeless things. And it would be really hard not to be hopeless right now in their position, because even if they win this war, the like the mists are just like condensing and condensing and condensing. So their like livable area is growing smaller and smaller. At some point, they're no longer going to be able to eat. And like they're working on a plan for that. They're going to start working on creating varieties of plants that can live in low sunlight so they can feed the plants to the animals and then they can eat the animals. And like they're working on a plan, but it's still hard, I feel like, to feel hope in this situation. So basically what Elend tries to do is he's like, tell me about, what page is that on?
He's like, tell me about Kelsier.
Yeah, he's like,
I
tell
want
me
to
about
know
Kelsier.
who he is.
He's like,
and
I
then
didn't really
Demo's
know
like,
him.
he's a god.
Right. And they basically all say he reminded you to laugh and to still see the good in the world, basically.
Yeah. For the not so skinny thick book, it's on page 91 when this happens. Because Demo was like, he was Lord of the Mist, and Elend was like, not the rhetoric, or the rhetoric. Someone tell me about the man Kelsier. I've never met him. You know, I saw him once right before he died, but I never actually knew him. And Ham goes, Kel was grand. He wasn't just a man. He was bigger than that. Everything he did was large. His dreams, the way he talked, the way he thought, and it wasn't false. I can tell when a man is being fake, and that's why I started my first job with Kelsier. In fact, that was from Breeze. Amid all of the pretenders and the postures, he was genuine. Everyone wanted to be the best. Kelsier really was. Vin actually steps up, and I'm like, yes, girl.
Yeah.
She goes, he was a man, only a man. Yeah, you always knew he'd succeed. He made you what you wanted. He wanted you to be. And Bree's like, so he could use you. Mm-hmm. And then Ham goes, but you were better when he was done with you. So like he used you to be better. And then Elend basically admitted that like he wished he knew him. He basically measured himself to Kelsier multiple times that early in his career, and that he never actually knew if Kelsier would be like proud of like him and for what he's doing, because and then he was going back and forth with, because he wasn't Ska, he was noble, all of that. And then at the very end of that he goes, if Kel was here now, what do you think he would say? Or if what do you think he'd say if he saw us now? And Ham goes, he'd be proud. I mean, we defeated the Lord Ruler and we built a Ska government. And then Elend goes, what if he saw us at this conference? And then everybody just kind of got quiet.
Yeah.
And then Sazed, of all people, says he'd tell us to laugh more.
Yep.
And then Breeze started laughing and goes, he was completely insane. The worse things got, the more he'd joke. I remember how chipper he was at the very first meeting after one of our worst defeats when we lost the majority of our Ska army. Kel walked in, a spring in his step, making one of his insane jokes. And then Alrianne was like, that sounds insensitive. And Ham goes, no, He was merely determined. He always said that laughter was something the Lord Ruler couldn't take from him. He planned and executed the overthrow of a 1,000-year empire, and he did it as a kind of penance for letting his wife die, thinking that he hated her. But he did it all with a smirk on his lips, like every joke on his way of slapping fate in the face.
Yep.
And Ellen goes, okay, we need what he had.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to see everyone laugh more.
Yeah. He basically is like, we need to smile more. We need to stop being so pessimistic.
Enjoy the little things.
He said, I don't care if you're an optimist or a pessimist. I don't care if secretly you think we'll be dead before the end of the month. On the outside, I want to see you smiling. Do it in defiance if you have to. If the end comes, I want this group to meet that end smiling as the survivor taught us. And then they all kind of like start shaking their heads. Yes. And then Seth's like, you people are all insane. And I'm like, really, Seth?
Well
you
said.
Of all people?
They did take over a 1,000-year-old empire, so
right.
You kind of have to be insane to do that.
And he says, how I ended up with you, I'll never know. And Breeze laughs and goes, now that's a lie. You know exactly how you ended up joining us. We threatened to kill you if you didn't.
And it's also funny, too, because, like, Breeze is sitting with Seth's daughter. And then
yeah.
Seth is sitting over there, and he's just like, stupid soother. And then
yeah.
he just goes on, and he goes back with stupid soother. And then
Yep.
He'll talk to Breeze. He'll put a couple of remarks in there about him, but he'll talk to him. He'll, like, be a working member of this crew.
yeah. Well, and, like, I know at the beginning of this chapter, I was like, despair and, like, hopelessness is not something you can just fix. But, like, if there was a way for him to fix it, bringing up Kelsier was the way. Like,
yeah.
I think if there was anything he could have done, that was it.
That was how you do it, yeah.
I did appreciate that Elend. That was a little bit of the old Elend, I feel like, coming out.
I feel like, too, learning more about Kelsier kind of not necessarily helps solidify him as, like, his role and, like, make him feel better about himself, but I think it also kind of, like, everyone believes Kelsier was, like, some type of god. He was a survivor, right. Like, that there's a religion after him now, so, like, they're humanizing him in an attempt to relive everything. And they even talked about Dox and Clubs, and I'm telling you what, I still fucking refuse that Dox is dead.
Yeah.
Clubs got, like, a horrific death, and a Koloss came at Dox just the same as Clubs, and all of a sudden things go black. Excuse me.
That doesn't mean he died.
He's probably a fucking Inquisitor right now. Fuck you.
Right? He could be. We don't know.
Yeah, but he's nowhere to be seen. He hasn't been seen in a year, and Ham's like, yeah, with them gone or dead. I'm like, no. No.
Yeah. And then just one more chapter of part 1, and it's all about Marsh.
Real quick, did you get a vibe that Ellen's speech was the atheist version of religions?
I could see that.
It's like Christianity. It's like, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
He would walk among the slaves. He would do this amongst the lay people.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what would Kelsier do? He'd laugh.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because, like,
I was like, dang, I feel like I'm in church.
joined the Church of the Survivor, but he doesn't actually subscribe necessarily to the beliefs of the Church of the Subscriber or Subscriber. What the fuck? He doesn't subscribe to the beliefs of the Church of the Survivor. But he did use the Survivor to bring them out of their despair. So, I mean,
I think where everybody is using the Church of the Survivor as a religion is a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I do like the humanizing of Kelsier, because he was a human. Like, he was a guy. He was another dude. Because that is a realistic religion to me. If you're going to name something religious, that is most real, like, that's what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically, if I'm following a religion, I'd rather follow something like this.
Yeah. Something with a
Like,
little
I'm
more
not saying
real and a
Jesus
little more
wasn't a real
heart.
fucking person, but I'm also saying he didn't create fucking wine out of water.
We could. That's a whole other episode.
Like, Kelsier could do some magic things because of fucking metal. I'm
Right.
not saying Jesus walked across the fucking ocean and there wasn't sand beneath his feet. Like, there's a few
Right.
things I just don't believe.
Right. Yes, I agree.
You had the fucking mermaids carrying him along.
What is it with Jack Sparrow? There was a sea turtle. He strapped his sea turtles to his feet.
Yeah. And, like, he made rope out of his chest hair or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, Jack Sparrow's like Kelsier, like, just does fucking
Honestly,
insane
though.
shit.
Honestly.
Like, that's a religion I could get behind. Like,
Ooh-wee.
doing insane shit just for fun. Like, no obligations, no nothing.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Now, I'm not saying obligations like work obligations and, like, society kind of obligations. I'm talking about, like, he's over here like, damn, I really want that treasure. Oh, look. Alcohol. Okay,
Right.
time to go. Like, he just does things on a whim.
Yeah.
There's no plan. There's no stress. Anyways.
Chapter 13?
Chapter 13.
I literally
Kelsier is
only...
changing more than just one person.
Yeah. I literally only wrote one thing.
Brother.
And that was... Oh, Marsh. Because he's basically, like you said, he's thinking about Kelsier and how Marsh gave up on the resistance too soon and Kelsier continued, and
even though Kelsier was like trapped and he like got out, he still continued despite everything, and Marsh is like, I'm a coward, I run away.
Yeah, and now Marsh is basically like, the only thing I can do to help is to kill myself, basically. He's like, it's to take away one of his weapons.
But not before fucking everything else up.
Yeah, so he's basically trying to take Ruin down from the inside. But he has to do it very carefully, because if he does too much at once and doesn't catch him up by surprise, then Ruin takes back control and he can't do anything. So it's a really delicate situation.
Yeah.
And that's basically all of chapter 13. Or did you have something else?
Nope, that was it. I was gonna say that I wonder if, like, Elend and Vin doing their bullshit somewhere else is causing Ruin to be more preoccupied elsewhere.
Probably. And that's why Marsh is able to just be alone.
Yeah. I also somewhat wonder, you can go pee if you can hear me still.
Okay.
I also somewhat wonder if, like, Marsh, maybe not Marsh. Yes, Marsh. So, like, if Marsh were to go ahead and, like, look at, when, like, kind of like time when he's available and when he's not necessarily getting, his ass whipped, by Ruin, I wonder if he'll actually start looking at, like, the times, the days, and how long, and, like, how, like, maybe there's a time that Ruin needs to actively, gain forces. I mean, honestly, sometimes if you have, like, this giant plan and, like, one little thing kind of topples, it kind of fucks up a lot of other stuff. So I wonder if, like, Marsh is going to start thinking about how long it takes Ruin to kind of regain conscious elsewhere, like, where he has a firm control of everything, and like, if there's timing between attacks or something like that, and if he can, he's gonna have to play the smart game with that, just because of how I don't want to say terrifying, but how tricky it will be because of how Ruin is here, there, but also not. So I think that's also going to be kind of exciting, even though I've never been a Marsh fan. I think it's just his attitude. It was very pessimistic. It was very shitty.
Yeah. And I think
didn't agree.
I agree. His storyline's not my favorite, but I am excited to see what happens and where this goes.
Yeah. Like, I like the idea that he originally was like, nope, I'm gonna go be an inquisitor to kind of help from the inside and kind of get ideas and this and that. But first of all, I now understand how you become an inquisitor. I don't know how you fucking regain your consciousness as an inquisitor.
Yeah, like how you choose to do that.
So, like, him thinking he can do this and not know anything about inquisitors.
Yeah.
That was insane all on his own, and he's over here like, I'm not the insane one. It's like, bitch, the fuck
are you sure? Are you
You're
sure?
like, nah, I'm gonna go be an inquisitor, not because I like him, because that's how I'm gonna take him down. Like, right? Absolutely like, not.
What?
Fuck that. So, okay, well, a little longer than expected. Oops. Oh well.
That's okay.
Until next time.
Bye.